Namaste. So tonight I am going to read Book 3, Chapter 26, on the narration of what are to be done in the Navratri. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Niravigram Kuraya Samakuraya Om Ekadantaya Vakratundaya Om Guru Brahma Vishnu Hari Om Tat Sat. Janamejaya said, O best of the Brahmins, what are men to do in the time of Navaratra, especially in the Navaratra ceremony during the autumnal season? How is the ceremony to be performed? Kindly relate all this with the prescribed rules and regulations. O intelligent one, what are the fruits therein of the Navaratra ceremony, and what are the rules to be observed? Kindly describe all these to me. Vyasa King, hear about the vow of auspicious Navaratra. This has to be performed with loving devotion in the vernal season, but its special season is autumn. The two seasons, autumn and spring, are famous as the teeth of Yama, the god of death, and these are the two seasons very hard for the persons to cross over. Therefore, every good-faring man should everywhere perform this vow very carefully. O King, the people are very much afflicted with various terrible diseases in these two seasons, autumn and spring, and many lose their lives during these portions of the year. Therefore, the wise should unquestionably worship with great devotion the Chandika Devi in these auspicious months of Chaitra and Aswin. On the day previous to the commencement of the vow, when the Amavasa Tithi commences, one should collect the materials that will be required in the worship and should eat only once in that Tithi what is called Habisyana, sacred food, boiled rice with ghee, and should on that day prepare an open shade in a temporary building, 24 feet in dimensions, on a level piece of ground that is considered holy. It is to be equipped with a post and a flag. Next, this is to be heaped over with yellow earth and cow dung. Then a raised platform called the Vedi, 6 feet wide and 1.5 foot high, level and hard, is to be erected and provided with an excellent space thereon for the seat of the Devi. Provisions are to be made also for ornamented gateways and an awning over the top. One should invite then those Brahmins that observe fully the customs and usages, who are self-restrained and versed in the Vedas and Vedangas, especially those who are skilled in the ceremony of worshipping the Devi. Next in the Pratipad, the first day of the bright half, one should take one's morning ablutions in a river or in a lake, tank, or a well, or in one's own residence according to rules, and one should perform one's everyday practices of Sandhya Mandanam. Afterwards, he should appoint the Brahmins and give them water for washing their feet, and arghya, offerings of grass, rice, etc., and madhuparka, an oblation of honey and milk, etc., and give then, as his means permit, clothings and ornaments to them. If he happens to be rich, he should never show his miserliness here in making these gifts, for if the Brahmins be satisfied, they will try their best to make the ceremony a complete success. O King, the Chandi paths, the reading of the book called Chandi, and Bhagavata paths, the reading of some portions of the book named Bhagavat, are done on this occasion for the satisfaction of the goddess, and either 9 Brahmins, or 5, or 3, or at least 1 Brahmin should be appointed for the purpose. Moreover, one other Brahmin of a restrained and calm nature is to be appointed, who would observe the fasting on the day previous, Parayana. All these being done, the able man is to perform the ceremony preparatory to the solemn Devi worship, in which the priest utters the Vedic mantra Swasti Vachana. Swasti na Indro Vridas Rava. Om Hrim Shrim Dum Durgaye Nama is the 9-lettered Durga mantra. O King, when the ceremony has been thus commenced, one should place on the Vedi a raised platform, an altar, the throne fitted with double silken cloths, and on that throne he should place the image of the Devi. The Devi, the eternal world mother, is to be 4-armed or 18-armed, 4 or 18, fully provided with all the weapons, ornamented with garlands of pearls and jewels, decorated with various ornaments of gems and precious stones, wearing excellent heavenly clothings. All the parts of the image being aesthetically finished and endowed with all the auspicious signs, mounted on a lion and holding conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus in her hands. The Devi here is represented with 4 or 18 hands. In the absence of the image, one should place an earthen water pot on that throne, thoroughly purified by the Vedic mantras, filled with gold and jewels, and filled fully with the water brought from a sacred river or a sacred place of pilgrimage, and with 5 young shoots of plants, the extremities of branches bearing new leaves immersed in water. Beside the water pot, on the throne, there should be a symbol, diagram, or yantra, with the 9-lettered mantra Om Hrim Shrim Chandikaye Nama in it for the purpose of worship. One should place on one side all the materials of worship in their due places, and then have the music and other sounding drums played for the good fortune and prosperity of the family. Note, look for the mantras in the book Mantra Maho Dathi. O King, if the first day be the Nandatithi, i.e. the first day of the bright half, with the asterism hasta in the ascendant, then that is the best time for worshipping duly the holy goddess. There is no doubt that special fortunate results would arise on this. On the previous night, one should observe fasting, or on the previous day, one should take only 1 meal of habistyana, boiled rice and ghee, and on the next day, one should make a sankalpa, an avowal of the purpose to perform a rite, and then begin worship. One should pray before the goddess thus: O Mother, Mother of the world, I will perform this excellent Navaratra vow. Be pleased to help me in every respect. One is to observe as far as possible all the rules enjoining in this vow, and then utter the mantras and do the worship according to the prescribed rules. First of all, one should worship duly the goddess Jagadatri, presenting her chandan sandal paste, aguru, a fragrant wood, the aloe wood. Camphor, the flowers, mandara, one of the 5 trees of the celestial regions. Kajara, a kind of fragrant flower. Ashoka, champaka, karavir, malati, and brahmi, and various lovely sweet scented flowers, and good bay leaves, dupa, incense of fragrant gum burnt before idols, and lamps. Next one should present the fruit coconut, matulinga, the pomegranate, bananas, oranges, the jackfruits, bale, and various other delicious fruit, and then offering her arghya, present boiled rice, another food, with a heart full of devotion. Those who eat meat, they can sacrifice animals in this worship of the Devi, and for this purpose, goat and wild boars are the best. O sinless one, the goats, etc., offered as a sacrifice before the Devi, attain to unending heavens. Therefore, persons offering the sacrifices of goats do not incur any sin. O king, the goats, etc., and other beasts offered as a sacrifice before the Devas undoubtedly go to the heavenly regions. Therefore, in all the sastras, it has been decided that this killing of animals in a sacrifice is considered as non-killing. Now, for doing the Homa ceremony, one should prepare, according to one's requirements, a triangular pit from 1 to 10 hands in dimension, and a triangular level piece of ground covered with sand. Daily, thrice, one should worship the Devi with various lovely articles, and finally make a great festivity with dancing, singing, music. Every day, he should sleep on the ground and worship the virgins, young girls from the age of 2 to the age of 10, with nectar like sweetmeats and beautiful clothing and ornaments. Every day, 1 virgin, or increase by 1, 2, or 3 every day, or 9 virgins in all the days, respectively, are to be worshipped. O king, one should perform worshipping this Kumari's virgin puja for the satisfaction of the Devi, as it means allow never one to show miserliness in this. O king, hear the rules of the virgin worship that I am going to tell you. The virgin aged 1 year is not to be worshipped, for they are quite ignorant as to smell and tasting various delicious things. The virgin aged 2 years is named the Kumari. Aged 3 years is named the Trimurti. 4 years is called the Kalyani. 5 years Rohini. 6 years Kalika. 7th year Chandika. 8th year Shambhavi. 9th year Durga. And a virgin aged 10 years is called Subhadra. Virgins aged more than 10 years are not allowed in all ceremonies. One should worship these virgins, taking their names and observing all the rules. I am now mentioning the different results that arise from the worship of these 9 classes of virgins. The worship of Kumari leads to the extinction of miseries and poverty, to the extirpation of one's enemies, and the increment of riches, longevity, and power. The Trimurti Puja yields longevity and the acquisition of the 3 things, dharma, wealth, and desires, the coming in of riches, sons, and grandsons. Those who want learning, victory, kingdom, and happiness, they should worship the Kalyani, the fructifier, the fructifier of all desires. Men should worship Rohini duly for the cure of diseases, for the destruction of enemies. The worship of the Kalika with devotion is the best. For prosperity and riches, Chandika is to be worshipped with devotion. O king, for the enchanting and overpowering of one's enemies, for the removal of miseries and poverty, and for victory in battles, Shambhavi, worship is the best. For the destruction of awfully terrible enemies and for happiness in the next world, the worship of Durga is the safest and best. People worship Subhadra when they want their desires to be fulfilled. People should, with great devotion, worship the Kumaris, virgins, with the mantrams Sri Rastu, or other mantrams beginning with Sri, or with the seed mantrams. The goddess who can create without any difficulty all the sacred tattvas of the Kumar Kartikeya, and who effects, as if in sport, the creation of all the devas, Brahma and others, I am worshipping the same Kumari Devi. She who is appearing under the three forms as differentiated by the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and who is appearing in multiple forms owing to the differentiations of the three gunas, again into various minor differences, I am worshipping her, the Trimurti Devi. She who, being worshipped, always fares us with auspicious things, I am worshipping her with devotion, the Kumari Kalyani, the awarder of all desires. I am worshipping the Rohini Devi with a heart full of devotion, who is germinating all the karmas in seed forms that have accumulated owing to past deeds. She who, at the end of a kalpa, gathers unto her in the form of Kali all this universe moving and unmoving, I worship that Kalika Devi with devotion. She who is furious and wrathful and hence is called Chandika, and who killed the two demons Chanda and Munda, I bow down to her humbly with devotion, to that Chandika Devi, who destroys the terrible sins. I worship that Shambhavi Devi, the giver of all pleasures and happiness, whose form is the Veda Brahma, and whose origin is without any cause, and who is so recited in the Vedas. She who saves from danger and her devotees, and who always delivers from various difficulties. She who saves from danger her devotees, and who always delivers from various difficulties and troubles, whom all the devas are incapable to know. I worship with devotion that Durga, Devi, the destroyer of all calamities. I, with my mind devoted, offer my salutations to that Subhadra Devi, who procures all auspiciousness to her devotees and removes all inauspicious incidents. Thus, in the mantrams above described, people should always worship the virgin girls, giving them clothing, ornaments, garlands, scents, and various other articles. Here ends the 26th chapter on the narration of what are to be done in the Navaratri in the Mahapuranam in Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Om Jayanti Mangalakari Bhadrakari Kari Durga Kashamashi Pidati Swaswanas. Om Jayati Om Devi. Чуємо те, що питати.